I just got done shopping out my PinBot machine, so I wanted to take this opportunity to show you guys how to play the game, talk about the basic game rule set, how to get your multi-ball, your bonus points, multipliers, all that good stuff. So I'm going to jump right into the skill shot. So we're going to start a game over here. I did turn the volume down on the game just to make it easier for you guys to hear me. A two-part skill shot in this game. The first one is shooting the ball up the corkscrew ramp, and you want to try and get it in this middle hole. So this is your maximum points for your skill shot. And throughout the game, if the ball comes back in this lane here, it increases a multiplier on this. So this can actually add up to some pretty big points. I love a game with a good skill shot, and this one has an awesome skill shot. The other part of the skill shot, if you notice, see how these lights are moving back and forth, corresponding with the targets. So once the ball leaves the corkscrew here, bounce around the pops, you want to try and catch the ball on the flipper as soon as you can and make this time shot. So I will show you here, like if you hit it, while that is lit up, it pretty much opens your visor immediately. And this is a pretty big advantage because it takes quite a bit of shots hitting these targets to complete the chest matrix here to open this visor. So now you've got an immediate chance at multi-ball. So I'm going to jump right in and talk about this multi-ball. So to start the multi-ball, you basically got to lock both balls in the eye socket. So you lock the first ball, then it's going to kick out your second one. Now you've got another shot at this skill shot, right? So you can collect with a multiplier if your skill doesn't hit the shot. Of course, you're going to bounce around in your pop bumpers, and you want to try and lock this other eyeball. That's going to start your multi-ball. During multi-ball, your scores are doubled, and you want to try to lock one of the balls, and then it's going to light your ramp for your solar value. If you hit that ramp, you're going to collect the solar value, and it's going to kick the ball back out, and you pretty much start the process over again. So that plus your double score is a pretty big advantage of this multi-ball, and you can pretty much continue that process as long as you keep these balls in play. That is one part of the game, and it's a pretty big feature of this PinBot machine is this visor, moving target assembly, and actually getting that multi-ball. You can get some pretty good points during multi-ball. So the other main objective of the game, and I think it's the main objective of the game, is advancing your planets. You start with Pluto, and you work your way all around the solar system down to the sun. And if you can get to the sun, you control the universe, right? So it's almost kind of like beating the game in a sense. So that's a pretty fun objective, to try to get all the way to the sun. So how do you advance these planets? There's two ways to do it. One is by completing this drop target set over here. That will advance your planet, one planet. Then, if you get the ball down this in lane, it actually lights this advanced planet target here, and you get an opportunity to hit this target. Now, I will warn you though, this is a tough shot. You have to hit it just right on the edge of your flipper to hit that shot to advance the planet. And if you miss, it's going down the drain on you. So that's a risky shot as well. Now, this game, it can be very fun, but it can also be very challenging on top of that. Like this, there's a lot of, if you make a bad shot, basically going down the drain. The way these out lanes are set up here, it's like a ramp going down. If it just bumps this one, or if it goes real lazy into this area here, it's pretty much going down the out lane. So you do have to be a bit of a skilled player here and make sure that you're making good shots. And if you hit a bad shot, you're going to pay for it. So with that being said, this drop target assembly can also be a cheap shot. Like if you try to pick off this first one here while all the targets are up, a lot of times that will end up in a ball drain if you're coming off your right flipper. So there is a couple other techniques. You can back flip it, with this, and sometimes you can pick those off a little bit safer. Sometimes you get lucky bounces and you can actually advance those as well. So you definitely got to be careful with that. But there is a big advantage if you can advance these planets. Now, if you notice, one of these planets is going to be flashing. If you make it to this planet, and this is a setting that you can do in the in the menu, so it depends on who the operator is, what setting he has it on. This one is on Mars, so if you make it all the way to here, it will give you a special, which my specials I always set to extra balls because we got the game on free play here, and no one really cares about a free game on free play. So that's a pretty good advantage. Now that is one part of this. Now the other part, every time you advance a planet, you get bonus points for each planet with a ball drain. So it's like an in-the-ball bonus, and those can add up to pretty big points. So one strategy is to advance the planets as close as you can to the sun without actually hitting the sun. And what that does is, at the end of the ball, you're going to get that massive bonus points, especially if you hit the ramp for the bonus multipliers. We'll talk about that in a minute. Now, it is, obviously the ultimate goal of the game is to get to the sun, and you should do that like once. You should just play the game through, get all the way to the sun. It's quite rewarding. He talks to you. It's got a nice little light show. You've conquered the universe, so that's a pretty cool thing. But the negative side of it is, once you get to the sun, it basically resets all your planets again. So you do all that work to get to the sun, and then the ball drains. You don't get those bonus points anymore. So you have to build that back up again for a second time. So a lot of people will have the strategy of basically just building up the bonus planets, but not actually getting it to the sun, at least not on purpose. And that's one strategy. So let's move on and talk a little bit about these drop targets as well. You'll notice that this light moves from target to target. So if you hit this target while it's lit, that's going to lift your ramp up here. Now this is how you collect your energy value. So every time the ball bounces around with the pop bumpers here, it's going to increase your energy value. And this is timed too, so you have a timed amount of time to hit that. And if you hit that shot, it's going to give you the energy value. So you build it with pop bumper hits, and you collect it underneath the ramp. So that's one, extra way to get points for the game. Another feature of this game that I want to talk about is this upper left saucer up here. So this one, like right now I have 25K flashing. So once you get the ball down this in lane, it's going to light one of these lights. Now you can get down as many times as you want. It's not going to advance it until you collect it. So this lights the light for 25K, then you make the shot with the saucer, you collect that. Then you go to 50K, then 75K. If you hit it 4 times, that lights your extra ball. So this is how you get your extra ball. However, once you make it in that saucer, it doesn't just give you the extra ball, it lights the extra ball. And your extra ball is down here at pretty much your in lanes and your out lanes. And you can manipulate that extra ball with your flipper, move the light around, so if the ball's going to drain real quick, you can move the light over there and try to collect that extra ball. So it is a little tough to get that extra ball in this game because of that. Now, I want to talk about another, that ties into this, another aspect here is this left ramp. So, when you hit this left ramp, one thing that it does is it's going to increase your bonus multiplier. Now, this can be very advantageous, especially once you start building your planet values. So, and this is a fairly easy shot to hit, and it's a fairly safe, safe play. I mean, if you miss that shot and you hit this post, yeah, it's probably going to drain on you. But it's a fairly easy shot to get down. And you got a lot of potential for reward. So, up here, now you're going to go into this mini playfield. And I will just say, for the record, I think this was an awesome concept that Williams did here with this mini playfield. This is where pinball started. I mean, pinball was originally basically like this plinko effect, where you would shoot the ball up and it would, plinko down and you would get, points or whatever, they were using at the time, because it was kind of a gambling thing when it first started. So I thought it was really cool that they incorporated that. Now, you pretty much have 4 outcomes on this mini playfield. One, the ball drops down and to your pop bumpers, and you start collecting for your energy value there, and you get points for the pop bumpers as well. So that is kind of the most common spot for it to go into. Then your other option is for it to follow down this left lane and go back into your shooter lane. That can also be a very good advantage because every time it goes down this lane, it increases the multiplier for this skill shot. And if you can get good at hitting that skill shot, you can build up some serious points like that. I think you can go all the way up to 10x on that. So your other outcome would be basically if it hits in here and goes down this in lane. And that could be a very advantageous shot as well because now you're lighting this, right? So you take the shot off the ramp. If you're lucky and it gets here and you're a good skilled shot here up to that saucer, you're going to start collecting those bonus points and moving towards your extra ball. So you do that, it kicks back out, hit the ramp again, and you can continue that process. So that's one good way to build those points and potentially get your extra ball. The other outcome would simply be for it just to roll off the edge here, which there's really no advantage or disadvantage. It just kind of really puts the ball back into play. So I always thought that was like a really cool concept that they did right here. And looking at this game, I think I might have covered everything there is to really do with this game. I think it's a very fun game. It's an iconic game for sure. And it does require a decent amount of skill, a skilled player for this. It can be very frustrating for a beginner sometimes, but as you continue to play it, it's so challenging, it builds, and you want to keep playing and playing to try to get these objectives. So I hope you get a chance to pick one of these up or actually play it somewhere and spend a little time on it. Don't get discouraged if you kind of launch a first game and you have a really bad game. Once you get a couple of good balls going on it, you're going to start to feel that addiction for this game. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for other future gameplay videos.